that time that we'll get back to your screen and we have rare conversations. I know there's quite a number of things that have been trending on social media regarding the awards and few feedback, amazing awards. I remember at some certain point we used to complain saying we kind of have an industry that doesn't have the awards. And we had recently had the Kwacha Music Awards. Can you share with us what you think and give us a highlight regarding the awards right there? You can drop your opinion in the comments and give us your honest opinion right there as well. So now today on the show, we decided to have someone who's been in the industry for more than 20 years. I have so much respect, man. He's been doing music for a while now, and he still do music. He's been in the background doing music. Some of us who plays some certain songs. He features in one of the albums recently by the Hustlers something. And we want to have conversations and get to find out about a few things. And in 2017, should be 2017, 2018 if I'm not mistaken, there's a verse he did in my diary. Was it in 2017 or 2018? What year was that?
2018. 2018.
2018,
sure.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, should be there. Shimfumu.
Mwela wansi.
Akakupiko kananko. Did I get it right?
Almost. Akakupiko kapa.
I need to teach Mr. Kelvin.
Yes.
Before he walked in, Mr. Kelvin Chifokolo was trying to say it the way you say it.
Yeah, so did he get
you
it?
had a rare intro, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
It was a rare intro. What year did you create the intro?
I think it was during my second album. Yes.
Which year was that?
207. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And also maybe this is a question that maybe some people don't know. What does it mean?
It has two meanings.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first one is akakupiko, that's a lead. Stamper. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So kalid kapakakopo. Kutika kupika pakakopo kambi. Mm-hmm. As long as nafikwana. Then now the actual meaning is umuntu nga chikopo. Ade angala ne chikopo. Kutiba pange fikopo efingi.
It was not just something that you just decided to say.
No.
It should be rhyming.
Yes. So
but it's like you're networking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So someone's character can actually influence another's character. So abantu nga bangala abali 5. All of abali 5 batatu fikopo ababili they will end up becoming fikopo na bena. So akakupiko kapakakopo. Kupika pakakupiko kapakakopo kambi.
Nice.
Yeah.
Welcome on the show. 20 years plus years. 20 years plus in the industry.
Yes.
And you're still in the game.
Yes.
Why so long? Why still doing music?
Chirianana kero mbutukisha. So the issue is this. Let's say waingira mu conference room. And then panse pali abantu balesta chair, padi let's introduce. So once to fumi na panse and then ngawapula waingira mukati padi ya conference table waipangire chipuna waikala. So bambi wapone na pado. Before they even get in, they fall off. And then so now when you are inside, it becomes now the matter of the big screen outside. So now you contribute, you stay relevant. And it goes on like that until so it remains like that. That's how I see music. So I continue creating. Because at the end of the day, it's a storyline. It's my life story that I'm telling to the world, and it will never end. It will only end in Ganapona, and then Ganapona. That's when I'll be celebrated forever.
How about artists that decide to retire off music?
Wow, it is some personal opinion. I think the best thing I can do is this. But for me, na believe over it's the chair but dopa kuingira because kaidolo barema no aingira charira because that's what they want. It's like they are voting, you know. So ngaingira mukati munamukati ngamuno kwa muri pressure. They decide walapanga ma decisions, but bambi they just decide on a personal level but okay I think ine fiaba so. But me I'm a songwriter. I'm a writer, I'm a lyricist. So if you akulanda tafipwa olo nombanga na ikala sana quiet filambo kukaripa chaba kwa tibushiro, you know. So I continue telling my story because no one will tell it better than myself, you know. And then nganapera my own pen napera umbyoka wa talembe story and alabepa. So the best storyteller of my life, it's me. And then whatever I say in my music, that's the report I'm giving because I'm a witness of that. Yeah, so I'm telling the story of what I'm witnessing. So it never ends.
How about the name, Shimasta? I don't know one has ever asked you this question before.
Yes.
Ishina.
Yeah.
Shimasta.
Okay, well, I mean, naikueteshina pa first ilimbi. And then ilidine mashozi shani ama guys pa street hello tate wasu Shimasta bige Shimasta tate what I was like okay I think Shimasta yamfika bwino. Then I adopted it. Yeah.
Okay.
And then from there on, and lucky me because
you didn't get to find out why they were calling you Shimasta.
Okay, Shimasta pa street it's like people giving you respect. Let's say they don't know your real name, okay? Vambibesa mkolanda vamwine. Oh, vakamba. Yeah, but vambibesa mkolanda Shimasta. You know, so it's in those categories. It's just the sign of someone trying to show you that I'm harmless, I respect you, and I would like to connect. Yeah, and since I don't know your name, I think if I called you Shimasta, you won't be offended. Yeah, so this is why in Ngamwapi Tamu Street, especially Mugeto, confirming right to Mokuita, Shimasta, master, 10 to PM. You know, so yeah. Yeah. Let's
talk about your music. One timeless song, till now, to dates. Natotela, Fiashi.
Yes.
Those are some few songs that we can mention from the top of the head, say people will be familiar with it right there as well. Again, Danica on this show. Again, that song, you were ahead of your time.
Yes. Yes.
We see a lot of people using that song. Their weddings.
Yes.
Most especially in Fiashi, Kuba Nani Nani. When you're writing that song, did you see it playing even after 10 years plus?
No. And Kuba, for very honesty, it was not my favorite song on the album. And it came from a point of, I think I was somehow depressed. And 3 quarters nganabalo, I ran to my book. This is why I still use the book and the pen. I ran to my book and write. So my parents were going through a lot. I think that's the reason why at some point I went for training on issues to do with GBV, issues to do with human rights and all that, so that I could maybe become the opposite. There used to be time when my parents would argue. You know, abana baromfa bunonga balekula munganda muri peace abafiashi mfwana tamwaisho no kuishi bati balalaka, you know. So it so happened that in my culture umwana wa mubemba, I've got no rights to quickly recover fiash punch like my parents. Can we sit down and talk about what's happening? No, I don't have those rights because nasangire baba pamo. You know, so because of that, it cuts me out. I'm a child, I'm a son. You know, so what's the best way can I talk to my parents about how we feel as children? So I think I'll just put it on a song. So this is why from the beginning I said I write my story. Yeah. So I started writing them a letter, and that's a song. And for me, it was strictly there and that. So even when I was putting the song on the album, I was like, I just want them to hear it from somewhere, from the speakers, from maybe where he's seated, from where she's seated, you know. And it worked out, and to my surprise, I katabengi. Yeah, but that song was specifically for mom and dad. Yeah, and from the children, and from my point of view, like that's why some parts I said ngamwala kana tata efwe twale edira mwale tutalarika mayo, you know, and shimwishitanga fyakosa mwale edira twale mitalarika mayo ngamwala kana tata twale edira mwale tutalarika ekyo ndwele mba munfunde akasuba kabala into muchiri no mweo, you know. Yeah, so I was not feeling happy, you know, that whenever there's lack of maybe material stuff at home, kwala bako tfyongo, and then when things are okay financially, mwabensa nsamunganda. So that's where that song came from, and then from that time up to Nalelo, that song is a blessing to my career, because I stopped introducing myself, like now, like confirmed, like Konsoko Naya, I don't need to introduce myself, so just Shimasta. Why? Because it touched the people's hearts that much. And Ganamuku perform a show, and I don't perform that song, Abantu Alakana. And you see, all these years, when I'm performing that song, they sing along. So it's jumping from generations to generations, you know. So I think that song will outlast me. Yeah.
Let's talk about maybe if you had to look back in time, and maybe try to advise yourself, the younger you, what is something that you would feel like you would do right? Since now you are old. Okay, not really like I'm putting it like old. I'm saying the younger you back then. What advice would you advise yourself?
I would tell myself to say, Shimasta, wira kwatasa no mutima osuma. We don't be too good, you know, and then not to kula ilaba kosana by making others feel more comfortable. Self-love. Because I think self-love ilalenga sometimes vachimbwe vaderera va taking advantage. Okay. Sometimes you'd feel, okay, I need to do this. I know I can do this better than anybody else. I think I'll just do it, but without placing value of yourself to say, okay, where do I stand on this? So I think self-love and also being too good. People are not really good. Abantu tababa bwino sana. I think echo no buteko bwapangirako amakoti wapange fungo na finish bambi bafika pa level ya kupanga M40s because umuntu taba bwino sana bwino. So especially ngasala bako ukwebat, this is how things should be. Olwasala that nde umfwensala, that's dangerous. Nachikumbwa ilya motoka, that's dangerous, because abafuiro kuba party are the right people that are supposed to do that. Ala chikonesha wamonaka, and then ngachikonesha, which means ifyala lubana. Why? Because ale tontonkanya tindefwa ilya motoka, and this is the only opportunity. This is why nalero people will never stop complaining. Kulanda tao fileta fyachiba fair, fileta fyachiba correct, fileta fyachiba right, you know. So especially umuntu uri pa position of power, uri pa position of influencing certain decisions. Ngakwata kalaka kwebat dinensala nakumbwa chiria o ndafwa yako fidia at the expense of right people that are supposed to do the right thing, then it's chaos.
Younger Shimasta.
It's chaos.
Anyways, let's get to move on. There's a debate that's going on social media. I do my research. 5 years, should be, how many years from the time that my diary was out? 5? How many years? Should be.
It must be somewhere 5, 6.
5, 6 years somewhere. Conversation, controversy. And again, after a few years after it was released, we saw there was some dialogue. I don't know if there were some conversation on social media saying who's the godfather.
Yes.
Then your verse, you mentioned something in your verse in my diary 5 where you say Inena letere chibemba.
Hip hop muchibemba.
Hip hop muchibemba. Inena letere. Again, it brought controversy.
Yes. Yes.
With some people wanting to say, no, I'm the godfather.
Yeah.
This is the godfather.
Yeah.
Somebody also chipped in saying Shimasta.
Yeah.
Something to do with
Shimasta is the godfather.
Yeah.
Yes.
So from an artist's point of view and your verse, maybe give us a highlight, maybe from my diary 5, the verse that you did. Was it like because you just did the verse for the sake of just doing it, or maybe since you've explained saying most of the songs that you do, they are based on your life?
Yes.
You're a storyteller.
Yes.
So let's have this conversation.
Thank you. I'm happy you brought this up.
Let's have this conversation. I've always wanted to get to find out this. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going for the issue is this. Okay. My diary 5, verse and 99.9% correct. And the 1% near my words to some kubikama rhymes just to control the flow. Yeah, but the message on that verse is totally true, and I can back it with facts. First of all, didn't finish a first album Kukafipa. I was 18 years. I was still at school at Kamwala High School. I was doing my grade 9. And Nalia Kumaria Soskubena Nasty Badnishi, they record Dandiana Koskolo. When the album came out, I was the first youngest hip hop solo artist kufunya album. Because then Kwari Black Moon to Vadi Babidi. Kwari Tribal Cousins Vadi Babidi. All those hip hop artists by then Vadi 222. Abambi, I can't remember because Abambi were the Chief Sung when they were not albums.
Which year was that?
203. That's when my first album came out. The Shimasta self-titled, 203. And before that, if I remember very well, tuwade kumana kuma rapping competitions. Ko Olympia, Radio 4 Fan Club, Shan, Black Velvet, Cosmopolitan, Tairabamo. We used to have competitions there. You know where a competition where you only have a verse, only have a song, you don't know the instrumental, and that's how we used to do. And then if we battle, it's you and me right now and the beat that we don't know, let's battle. And then people will judge. That's how we grow up. You know, so I had a problem with English. Then, and I wanted to rap. I was inspired by then a group called Crisscross to York States. So I wanted to be like them. Then earlier on, Nasawa inspired Nanaz. So then I couldn't write in English. So then I found Red Lins also rapping in Nyanja. You know, Frafine we was Nyopole on Fuika. Yes, Red Lins. So then Tuakumana Mchawama, Red Lins on Mrs. Inekwakuku. And then we started going to more competitions, rapping in vernacular. Then Yambokula Idekula. I went a Black Moon to Asakwata contract, year number 1, Kumondo. They were told, you need to do vernacular songs because it's time. Because before that time, Kuma Radio 4, Cool Radio Phoenix countdown, local rhythms countdown, quite a fifth song. Manyimba mademo ya muchisungu ama callers ngabatu matakwali wale randa nebo chitu fya mulenga nangu nebo piri Emmanuel fisungu feka I'm Harrison Kennedy, you know. So we had to force the language on our people to be proud of their own language. So now Chishavorotia made it bigger because now he said Black Moon 2, I need a vernacular album. And that's how we came in. That's how we came in. So first album Yena Black Moon 2, Monaba. So Ngomonaba, and that's the first hip hop album in Zambia. Then who came before me? So that's a fact. And then when I met Avena Black Moon to Black Velvet, Nale rap Chibemba. Oh, I used to rap in Bemba because I had a problem with English. So now, that's a template I created and a style. My style is different. And then my style, now they're understanding it. At some point, I remember they shana na Israel exile then. Alisam kunjati boy. I was just thinking that muri rap fintulemba. Some of the lines I was thinking we should fuse in some English. And then Moses Sakala said, no, I want you to keep the language, because language, it's diluted, it's mixed, it's a street. So you can be the guy that can keep the original Bemba language in case of reference. So if you feel no chaya, if you're feeling, because then it was very difficult for a lot of people to understand what I used to say, because the Bemba was deep and it was pure. So I maintained until now. Now people feel like, okay, the real Bemba is a good thing. That's the thing, you know? Plus the style. And where the style came from, when I started working with him, we met at Cosmopolitan Corridor for Fan Club. I was performing. Yeah. And he was the guest artist. That's where we met. And he said, iwe, ndakufaya sana iwe. Ninkumfa sana, ndakufaya sana, okese kwa office. When I went to office in Kamwala, and then we agreed to start doing some concerts, some live shows. He said, inencha live music, so we can be touring. I said, okay, no problem. So we started rehearsing my music, and by then I record the Aita album. And said, I'm actually recording an album. So to Avika Moru in Boroverunga, Lumo. That's when I did yeah, on that album. And then I featured in Nimboma and Muriche. So what happened was, when I said ama shows ama tours, because we toured with Nasty. That album, takwaba album we are beating up or record the album pama charts. So that shows how much we toured. And people knew my music before I went to the studio, because I was performing them. Until it reached at the point where Nasty said, Shimude, now I think ufunya album yobe. Nala kupangile ntantiko ufunya album. So that's how it was. You know? That's how it was. So now, Slap, I knew him from Chawama when he was recording Asembe 7s.
Which year was
at Chilo East.
To the right?
I think so. At Chilo East, because Chilo East studio was near my home. So I used to come that side, and I would go by the studio if I'm not doing anything, and then would chat. You know, I used to tell him, Udimukadi, you know, just, if you know the chai, later, this is you. You know, so he knows me from that time until now. So once I have some kuisabata mpiro kusanga ni shemo tu abakale. You know, emo tu abakale. So now for Slap to call me Godfather, it befits, because it's not coming from an ordinary musician. You know, I call him King Diesel. He's a king, you know, just like King Booga is a king, you know. So if it's coming from someone with that record, you know, you feel privileged. It's like AKA calling Maki 2 that Godfather, okay? He felt something, and that's why he said it. So Slap felt something, and Slap is not an ordinary musician who you can push over. No, he's got a record, he's got catalog, got fina. And for him to say that, it's worth it. Fiapusana kuna self praise. Yeah. But
it was a debate on social media.
Yeah, you know,
it's a debate.
The issue is abengita abaishiba history tabalanda, and then abalanda banono. You know, that's what Mudi Darin and that they change history nangulukobo lukule. Because even if they become big-headed, they feel they have all the information, but they can't change the
truth. Do you think, as Zambians, we move on too fast to forget about the past?
Yes.
Like we move with what is happening?
Yeah,
current?
And I'll tell you this. This is the biggest mistake we have. Let me give you simple examples. Like, let's say in the States, Kutu BET Awards or Akushanshana Awards, but there's Sotren Awards. Yeah, that's a standard. Two akuma awards there's Oscar awards. That's a standard. And having pepero kuya kuria. They would work themselves hard just to go to the Oscars, just to go to Sotren Awards, you know, because that's the standard of excellence. We don't have that here. Anyone who comes here today and disetina viamba, disetifichita, wakopera ife, and then wala muloresha and that you see. Upcoming artists, they are very good. They've got the passion. They need experience, and experience is the best teacher. Who has the experience? So you marinate them together. I think this is why tuasa kwatako pressure in binakuri after Bena Christopher wina AFCON. Baba pasamuna. Then what happens? Factory reset to Tampa one. So now we are going with people who are not aba experience aba ishivenshere for yarenda to abash abengalanga kwa shortcuts. Now we start becoming frustrated. So this is why we feel in the Zambian music industry there's a lot of frustration. It's because every time umuntu Africa padia tulesa mukuleka tu amukufwayo di panshi tuambio kumwimia instead ya kufisha badi abafike then waposen tambo panshi wambio kudonsa, you know. So this is why fumonika kwati bonse bale ruida. Yeah, it's because tapari with the patience yakwe, but we need experience here. Okay, if we to the bakari to arikosa to the for afia with experience, but we ever tinga wanyanta pada nisho Africa, because if we to connect so. And this is why I said earlier on, but aba ishiba history, aba filo kuichingirira history, no kusambirisha history. Bale onaika. It's very funny that umuntu wa ishiba ubukariwa kwato umuntu. But as I start decide to go, but no, I think we can boy. It doesn't make sense. Because I think we can boy, it simply means that to posa kosa na mano, just cover it. Because our focus is where? Oh, nakumbwa moto kaidi. Nakumbwa mabloko area.
That brings me back to the recent event that was happening, the legendary show.
Yeah.
You were not amongst the artists.
And abengibari some why didn't approach. Many called me.
What happened? Were you approached or you just refused?
No, I was not approached. You know, I did approach. When I saw...
You did approach?
Yes, was I know one number one, was I know one number two, one number three, I was like, okay, I think you are the best person who can do the right thing here. There's a genre which is not represented here. And that genre is me. Muri genre yandi umwaba ama artisti fya palavena. Shefi, J-Max, 4na5, Muzo, you know, the list goes on. You know, like, so, genre, it's not represented at the legendary. And I've been given the party list, I've been given in Sanga. And then I'm a professional live music performer. So, I qualify.
So when you approached, you did approach. What was the feedback? Because
at first I thought like because you see the business. Then the reply was, okay, I'm talking to the organizers and I'll get back to you. I was like, okay. Then pass after 2 days namunaba sign and I'm like, I'm still waiting. Yeah, okay, all right, I'll call you in the evenings. Then I'm organizers no kusani dembe na that give us your contacts and your email. I'm organizers, but umuntu wa shiva history fintu yaba ordinary into fiare tampa chasa imini. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to force this. And they are not the ones that are going to determine why.
But I hear that this is like the first phase. There's going to be another phase next year. Maybe they're planning for you next year.
Yeah, but who knows tomorrow apart from God? Because tafpanga sensite ile kwa ati obasa mkunina nomba no kufanga twali mutemeno sana, so here what twachitira dedicate ena, so this artist is going to perform his song. Tuli banono, former legends, tuli banono. We could have performed the all night until watch. Tuli banono. And then next year again, then tuambo kudonsa aba ichaba desta qualify na bena, chambo kusta continue, chambo kuyanisho fini. And then it goes on. So palasti nasa fika fipalevo ya kolandati takwa tama rights ya kunjeva who I am. That's why to change history na ngulu kobolo kule. I know who I am. So I'm not even going to force myself there. Ngabale mfuaya bakansa ngabali shiboko naba.
Again, Shimasta, you have never been signed to any record label. How many things have
PMC?
Like again, it's another story.
Okay.
I was doing my research.
Now Shiva. Na pero mchinshi, why Shiva?
Okay, so let's have this conversation.
You know, ulenji pusha ma questions, zeo tavanji pusha.
No, but
yeah.
Therefore we start to find out.
Yes.
These are things that we've seen in the industry. Like I said from the intro, 20 years plus years. It's a long time.
Yes.
It's a long time.
Yes.
This is why I even put in a question trying to find out a younger you. What would you advise yourself?
Yes.
So there are follow-up questions. So how to find out, why have you not been signed?
Maybe wamona kwa narikosa. You know why? Because most of this is the truth, because this is the only history I can live, you know? This is the only truth I can tell. Musician ingabam sign, when an artist is signed at a label, there's funding to question the pressure so that they can push the creative stories out there to the people, okay? And then when an artist is independent, there's no financial question. So you have to be creative enough and powerful enough for your music, your storytelling to reach the people with or without finances. Yeah. So vadiobo feeding and a custard na spoon just because na baba sign, they are feeding them. Okay. Most of them because most of them balesa mukuleko kuba creative. Abashala bari creative, they excel. But dabengi balesa mukupwa somehow. It's like Africa FY. So now that ends up denting record yama musicians. But most of the musicians balesa mukupwa ngaba kwata amafu. But in my case, echutabansa inansha yishiba. But just like I said in one of my songs, opportunity can sanganda tamangako. Omona icharo chisha la kusala ngenkoko. So I told myself never to wait, because the most powerful instrument or the most powerful thing that God has ever created is time. You can't negotiate with time. So if I have a lot to say, I better say them and let them out, you know, than waiting to say, Deva can sign no don't get such stuff. No. But I wouldn't find it a problem to be signed, because it's part of my job privileges. You know, it's part of my jobs, because that will oil my movements. And then that will simplify my way of, my vision of where I want to see Shimasta's music reach, you know. But again, I've learned a lot all these years. Yeah, I've got so much experience, in a sense that ndesa mukupunkana na balabe na bakwete financial sponsorship mamwana twasunkanya same crowd pama chats na inena kwera bansanga para pene, you know. So I'm sure bengi bale shetari kosoyo. But no, I've never been signed, and not because I've been saying no, but no one has ever approached me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in your era, in your time, when Shimasta was touring and having all those events, shows,
yes,
did you have a manager, someone who's maybe people were approaching to when they wanted to maybe to
yes,
call you for events?
Yes. I had. Ndiwa Mtelo is now permanent secretary at State House. He used to be my manager on my first album. And also Mr. Vizi, yeah, he used to be my manager.
You know why I'm asking this question? Because I've heard some history from certain people saying certain artists are hard to manage and they're hard to convince to when you want things to work your way. This is why you find that certain artists would decide to be solo artists.
Yeah, but you see, one of the reasons why to the Samukukokolabambimu industry is because we love learning. You know, it's so amazing that there's a lot to learn from, and then we will leave it without understanding everything. So when you give others chance to teach or to show you, it really works out. It really, you know, makes one grow. For example, Nangunga Tuaku Studio. I'll go with a complete idea of how I want my song to come out. But when the producer says, I'm thinking like this, I want to know why he's thinking like that. And if what he's thinking were to be done, how would it feel? Because there's a space for everyone. There's a space for everything. His idea can be put somewhere inside the song, because that's an idea I didn't have, and he has it. So if I trust to work with him, which means I should trust his ideas. So now, today we have social media. When I started music, there was social media. There was no social media, you know. But today there's social media. We have numbers and streams. Why? Because we are learning. Why? We are accepting. The generation before us, we found it was Chadi Chibodia, you know? Chadi Chibodia. We found those Pepe Kale. We find Kanda Bongo Manshalamwana in Zambia when we came. When we decided to say we need to have our own, we had foreigners all over. We enjoyed their music. We danced to their music, you know? So we started working to say, how do we also fit in? So it was a collective idea. So it's always important to, I know there are artists, like what you've said is true. They are there. But you can't grow. You can't. You need to work with people. You need to listen to people. You need to give them chances for them to become as well. Because Ichalo, we connect. That's why I say Mwela Onse. You know what Mwela Onse means? It means, Mwela Onse means it's all good. Okay? And also Mwela Onse means Mwela na pema. No Mwela ole pema. Tule chinjanya. So we can't live without each other. We can't. Yeah, we can't live without each other.
My last two questions that I want to get find out from our today's guest, Shimasta. One of them is awards, performing. Yeah. Have you ever been invited? And also Australia live music.
Oh yeah.
So maybe in your response, maybe I would like to find out all those things. These are things that we've noticed. We notice them. Okay, we know about them.
Yeah.
Do you also sometimes think about them? Sometimes do they get to you?
Sometimes yes, they do. Especially this time Kualaba awards, you know, and in this period Kualaba awards, you know. You start preparing in case they call me. This will be my set. This is how I'll perform, and this is how I'll present myself. It's like what I said earlier. Experience is the best teacher. So, a passion, which is the new artists, you know, plus experience, you put them together and they learn from each other. It becomes bigger, you know. So, sometimes there's some kusangwa ture tamba. We don't forget to be. Why are they performing like this? Because they need proper preparation. When you want to do live music, you need proper preparation. First of all, when we wake up with when you're presenting it to the band, they'll see how, they will look at what you're saying and say, okay, this can be possible, this can't be possible, but we can do this in place of that, and this is how the presentation can be. Then you start rehearsing, because it's chalo chile tamba. You start rehearsing. Like I told you, if you perform instrumental, so we are that sharp. But then, whatever you are wishing to say, I wish I could have the instrumental so that I can prepare, you know. So preparation is important. This is why no, we are still learning, we are still doing that. It's because the stuff using those who knows and those who don't, and those who are learning, you know. It's very important. And then in my words, if an artist is not strong, kutiba mupwisha. Let's say muri category, that's your right category and that's your genre, you know. And then vasa winisha ubi. Ushiri muri genre yenu. Yo waba mwewe. Ngata wakosa depression kicks in, and then ngakwari bo muntu oba mona tari kosa but takosa musician, especially songwriter. You can be around millions of people but you are very empty and lonely inside, you know. So most of these musicians, that's depression. That's depression. To be creative, it's a very lonely and hard work journey, because for you to be creative, you have to be yourself. You know, and then kakwari womuntu it's to criticize sana. The musician, the creator. Because kula bat apa thinking shufika apa rimbi I thinking piri bura panchinja apa. So now we muntu nga wasaingira mono kusabika mo your own personal ideas, because rimbi walikwata ko record oba ishiba tari sitiko na fidana without understanding art. Wala ona ola musicians. You know, so abale pangama awards, they've got very good intention. And we really need this because it's motivation. Musician in Galusa, it's best Alusa Mukolandati. I need to work on that and that because I think if you're getting than Amukolandati, but would you batch pay that temo of Firokuba? Why Monaga? Because then ala learn that maybe very impata, maybe taban fire, or maybe, you know, and then gatakosa ala sumina tvari mupata. Ngari kosa learn that I'll fight them. Nga kosa sana alalanda tubaka njitanga balefwaya. And today I'm artist na bambo kushibuka. Bambi badelando ko bat awe tete mumbika muri yo category. Inafikapa. Bari ishiba. Awe tete mumbike padia tete nkwani. Ine mfwaya padia. Bari amboko yishiba. And now nga wamboko latari kana na bena. They are the one creating, so we need to meet somewhere.
We'll keep other questions.
Yeah. And then
next time we'll come through, maybe in a minute.
Yeah, you said about the Australia trip.
Yeah.
Yes. 27th October, it's in Melbourne at the Industry Club where they do live concerts there. And it's strictly live music. And on the 3rd, it's in Perth at Hellenic Club. And it's me, Shimasta, Danny, and the Mofire Band. So it's going to be strictly live music. Yes. So right now, tickets are being sold. And I'm really happy because people that side, they demanded for live music. They said, live. So why can't our people do that? So we said, yeah, we do live music. So you know, so yeah, we are geared to go to Australia this October.
We need to look at the footage once you guys get to perform so that we see.
Yeah,
means a lot right here on Prime TV. We're having a conversation with the one and only Shimasta. And if there's any questions, let us know. Some pending questions. But this is some few things that we were trying to find out from him right here. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Payatu Vibes. Golden Saints vendería dura por más Tanzania de sentimento Lawrence Cloud Tata wandine Umba wandie Ovana totela Papunkusha inemo Na mwana wenu dati na totela Mayo wandine Umba wandi Maria na totela Papunkusha inemo Na mwana wenu mami na totela Tata wandine totela papunkusha inebo mwana wenu dati na totela mayo wandine babumba wandi Maria na totela papunkusha inebo mwana wenu mami na totela kaine yampepelera kala mupepelera mfumu yanti panchalo mchira kanya n'abantu